Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. This is Victoria and this is your daily energy update. Today we're gonna do a classic read, a more or less classic read. So I'll start with an oracle deck, then we'll get into tarot for the energies for each of the twin collectives, and at the end we'll get some messages from the Hermit tarot deck between the twins, what they would like to say to each other today. Yeah, let's get started. And I'm starting with the Sacred Traveler deck. Let's get a card for Divine Feminines first of all. Let's see what's the buzz, what's going on. It's been very interesting these few days because of this astrological new year, stepping into the Aries season, new moon, vernal equinox, all the senses are still bubbling up the collective energy. And as I've already mentioned, we do have Saturn moving between Pisces and Aquarius, so that's kind of a big deal too. I might do a separate reading to see what the impact is for the twins. I don't know yet. We'll see if I'm guided to. Maybe I'll do that at some point this week. But generally speaking, there's a lot going on. Sorry, too many cards. I'll get another one. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm back home now, and well, in Hawaii. And I will actually be moving to a different island on Saturday, so I'll try to make the transition smooth in terms of readings and private readings, but bear with me if you know, I have to skip a day or the reply will take a little bit longer, just because of the arrangements I'll have to make with travel, and then obviously a new place to settle in and, you know, give myself a little bit of time for that. But yeah, hopefully there won't be any more breaks in the readings, at least not for the next week, because my second week on the island I'm planning to take a lot of tours, trips, connect with people in different events, so I'm gonna be definitely much busier, and I'll just have to you know, take it by the intuition and my inner guidance of what makes sense for me. Speaking of which, Divine Feminine has this wonderful card, Embracing Enthusiasm. I love it, so beautiful, very springy card to me. Shout to the heavens with happiness. Yes, so speak your affirmations, your prayers, your words of gratitude and what you're happy about right now in your life. It's very important to pronounce it out loud, or at least to write it down in your journal if that's your best option. But yeah, this will sort of perpetuate that message further and will sort of anchor it, so it becomes more, I don't want to say automatic, becomes more of a your baseline, you know, so you don't have to work hard to get to that state. It's going to be just part of your baseline that you can reach easily. Even if you're not there automatically, you can reach it easily with a little bit of awareness and a little bit of an effort. For the masculines, we have Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. Beautiful. And I'm hearing that this particular case, it's specifically for DMs themselves. So some healing is needed, and it's an opportunity now to start from clean slate. And the equinox gave us this rejuvenating energy, this reset, if you wish, right? So we can write our story from scratch if we want to. And it's giving the masculines an opportunity to heal anything that's preventing them from going forward and progressing on their journey with their mission, with their goals and dreams. Beautiful. Now let's get to the energies. So let's see what we have for Divine Feminine. See what's going on right now. That was more of the card of an advice. Yeah, just for those who are new, sometimes it's kind of like what's going on. Sometimes it's what is a good idea to do at this time. So this was the second one. Okay, for the feminines, we have Three of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so it may seem at the moment that the luck is looking away from you. Look at that Wheel of Fortune and that person in the picture, right? They're like looking away and also wearing black clothes. It might make it look a little gloomy for you. And the Three of Pentacles is very unique in this deck because normally it's about collaboration, but here it's more about finances, like resources leaving you without your consent or without giving you a chance to fight for them. Right? So if that's the feeling right now, it might be, it's okay, but just know that this is not what's going on, and the fate, the destiny is working its way into bigger opportunities, really. So it's almost like I'm getting that if you're losing any opportunities right now, it's only because something better is in the works, and you shouldn't be spreading yourself too thin on those things. It's important to do a little bit of waiting or looking out, right? Seeing it from the bigger picture to see if those particular opportunities that come in your way are benefiting that larger goal, that larger mission, or just something that you're trying to do quickly just to make a quick buck, or I don't know, help somebody out, but you know that ultimately it's taken away from you and you won't be able to contribute to your larger goals, so your long-term plans, right? Very interesting idea here. Okay, let's see what we have for the masculines. Queen of Pentacles. I think we had it quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. And the Tower. So something about the motherhood, womanhood, and relationship between the masculine and the feminine energies coming to the foreground for DMs. Some big breakthrough, some big revelation. It may not necessarily be a positive one since we have the Tower here, and it means that essentially the old structures are getting broken. But it will, even if it doesn't seem like a positive thing in the moment, like it's like, oh wow, like my world is falling apart. I thought I had it figured out, and now I realized that I was missing important points in this puzzle. Yeah, it might be a temporary shock or despair or, you know, even depression, but it will turn things around and set yourself up for building a more fulfilling and harmonious relationships with women in your life, whether it's the mother energy or siblings or friends or romantic partners. It's almost like you're understanding the energies, the feminine energies on a different level, and you understand more of the dynamic, more of what they have to put up with. In America we have Women's History Months, and yeah, maybe if you aren't interested in the events and, you know, usually the documentaries, so kinds of publications around the topic of the history of women's rights and the place of a woman in society, right? How it was changing, how it evolved up to now, and what kind of challenges we're dealing with at this moment, what is needed to be talked about, right? Like the topics are kind of changing, but a lot of the core topics remain the same because it brings us back to the core nature of the society and the whole idea about the, you know, masculine versus feminine role. So maybe it's worth looking something up. Maybe you just get to that certain source of information. I don't know whether it's your laptop where you have your streaming services, or your TV or a newspaper or magazine, or maybe just looking it up in Google, right, and seeing what's out there. Maybe hearing it from a friend of like, yeah, this is good, right, and it talks about this and that, and you suddenly it clicks for you and you're like, yeah, I want to know more. Surprisingly, like maybe it never hit you before that could be something relevant to you, but you do. And even if it sounds like it may not be relevant, if you're guided to do it, go for it. Watch it, read it, see it, hear it, right? Because there would be a message there. A lot of times it's on the surface, it's a certain criteria by which, you know, which is being described, but a lot of times it's a lot deeper because we're not just flat 2D pieces, you know, We are much more than that, and that's what adds complexity, and that's what builds our unique character for each of us, right? Because apart from having certain social and historical representation, we also unique in our personal, right, with our personal histories, temperament, culture, nationality, language, etc., etc. So yeah, interesting. And actually, now that I talk about it, you see there's a woman figure in the Mystic Killer card. And to me, it's bringing me back immediately to this card, because part of the healing process, at least part of it, if not everything, is going to be connected to the feminine energy. It could be a relationship with the feminine, or it could be the feminine in the feminine reflection in the divine masculine, right? Because we both have feminine energy in us. Maybe there is a disconnect with your feminine part, like feminine side, right? The feminine energy. So this is because of some cultural stereotypical BS, right? Maybe that's what's being brought to your attention, that's not healthy. Just because it happened like that naturally doesn't mean that it should stay that way. And you can now reprogram yourself to rebuild this vision, right? And maybe be more comfortable with how you express that feminine energy. Okay, messages from DM to DF. I want you to choose maybe, and I'm manifesting you. So DM saying I'm making my move, really. I'm working on figuring things out so that I can do this right. I don't want to rush. And in the meantime, I'm expecting you to also give me some sort of recognition that you want this, that you're interested, and this will give me more inspiration to walk this path and to work through the karmic cycles, to understand how to be a good partner, what I'm looking in a life partnership, business partnership, friendship, right? Because we are those things to each other for sure. And being the twins, we're actually challenging each other with those roles, and that, right? Yeah. Just remembered about something with my own DM. From DFs to DMs now. I just dream and wish for everything. 1 cup. And this love scares me. Yes. There are a lot of dreams. There's a lot of longing even towards this divine partner, the partnership. And I'm also sensing, especially with this 1 cup, that it's because it's almost like DF has gotten to the point where she's worked on them, like they worked on themselves so much, and on nurturing self-love and self-care and understanding patterns and working through those, that it's almost like, you know, it's like a student who's really studied hard for the test or the exam, and they can't wait for that exam to happen, to like show it all, right, to apply it, to see it in action, to see actual result, like, you know, benefit from it, right, in a good way. And the same I'm sensing here. And all on the one hand, it's still pretty scary because it's so new, and the F is saying I've never really dealt with this before, right? So it's not like you can have a practice round with someone else, because it's not just, it may make you more confident, but it's not going to be the same anyway, because of how perfect this complementary energies are, this reflection is of you and your partner in your twin. So yeah, there is this happy student, I'm hearing happy student energy of wanting to apply to practice it with each other, right? But at the same time, of course, there's fear because of, you know, all the responsibility that's at stake, and also fearing that it may not really work out as well as you think, right? That's the message. Okay, well, looks like twins are working through some pretty big topics. I love these messages. It's so good, and it's definitely moving us all to a more healed place where we can really step into that enthusiasm and work off the positive vibes and what we can create versus what we are hiding or what we're afraid of. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and I will be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.